Workers who report violations may be putting their careers on the line. Turns out the government's advocate for whistleblowers is accused of retribution.
Not only is this system dysfunctional, it is really set up to make sure whistleblowers do not blow the whistle.
And a new So how much do you trust the government? Not very much, according to a new poll in the CNN Opinion Research Corporation survey. Only 25% say they trust the government to do the right thing all or most of the time. 66% say some of the time, 8% never trust the government to do what's right. Government whistleblowers risk their careers to try and do what is right. So what happens when the office they trust to protect them doesn't? Senior correspondent Alan Chernoff reports on a system critics say is broken and dysfunctional.
Nice airplane.
Former Federal Aviation Safety Inspector Richard Wyeroski was fired after reporting safety incidents at New York area airports a decade ago that he claims the FAA wanted to keep quiet. Wyeroski says his supervisor also tried to prevent him from earning this aviation inspection certificate and then terminated him in late 2002. Falsely claiming Wyeroski had lied on his certificate application.
You got another certification.
Right.
To improve your expertise in safety.
Yes.
And you're saying that you were fired as a result?
Yes, that's true. And I've been trying to clear my name for 7 years now. It's affected my livelihood, it's affected my reputation, all because I did my job.
We asked the FAA to comment on Wyeroski's dismissal. They declined. To try to get his job back, Wyeroski turned to the U.S. Office of Special Counsel.
The U.S. Special Counsel, a presidential appointee, is supposed to help whistleblowers like Richard Wyeroski. 6 times, Wyeroski has filed complaints with the Office of Special Counsel, but those complaints have gone nowhere. And advocates for whistleblowers say that's typical.
Not only is this system dysfunctional, it is really set up to make sure whistleblowers do not blow the whistle.
Scott Block is the last person to have been U.S. Special Counsel, a job he held when Wyeroski began filing his complaints. Block was forced to resign in 2008 and recently pled guilty to lying to Congress about deleting files from his computer at a time when he was the subject of a federal investigation into whether he retaliated against his own employees and dismissed whistleblower cases, like Wyeroski's, without adequate examination.
Scott Block wasn't actually getting his agency to do the investigations into allegations of wrongdoing. They were just closing cases left and right without actually doing investigations.
The Office of Special Counsel says it flatly rejects Brian's charges. Since Block left the office, OSC has substantiated a number of whistleblower complaints, but the office remains leaderless. President Obama has never appointed a new U.S. Special Counsel, even though early in his legal career, he worked on behalf of government employees who exposed fraud.
I actually used to be a plaintiff's attorney that represented whistleblowers.
While the president has failed to appoint a new special counsel, the White House has been working on a bill with Congress that would give whistleblowers more protection. The U.S. Office of Special Counsel says, quote, "We continue to conduct full and fair investigations and seek corrective and disciplinary actions when appropriate." Tony?
So, Alan, you know, it seems ironic here that the president himself represented a whistleblower when he was in private practice, but he hasn't appointed a new special counsel. Any explanation from the administration on this?
Tony, it's incredibly ironic. The president had actually represented somebody back in Illinois. He had written a brief. The case went all the way to the Supreme Court, but still, he has yet to actually name a special counsel. People are kind of scratching their heads, people who are supporting the whistleblowers.
Yeah.
They're wondering what's up. And apparently there have been some possible nominees, but they've been scratched, and so we're still waiting on that.
Yeah, Scott Block, the former special counsel, pled guilty to lying to Congress. When is he going to be sentenced, and is he likely to serve prison time?
He had been scheduled to be sentenced last week. Now, there's a plea deal, and it seems, based on the arguments that were presented in court last week, that the plea deal calls for him to just get probation no prison time. Now, there was an argument before the judge between the attorneys as to whether or not the judge is actually able to do that, able to just give him probation. So now the judge has asked for written briefs on that very issue. She's supposed to get those later this month on September 24th and then set a sentencing date. But it is definitely possible here that Scott Block is going to walk with no prison time.
Wow. Alan Chernoff for us. Alan, appreciate it. Thank you.